The Gambler's Ruin Project, where the odds get cracked. MLS Matchday, the 28th of June, 2025. Gambling always equals risk. And here at the Gambler's Ruin Project, we deal in data-driven predictions, not betting advice. Everything you hear is powered by AI models, statistical simulations, and machine learning. But even the smartest models can't eliminate variance. So stick to the golden rule, the 2% bankroll rule. Bet smart, bet small. And remember, even in Canada, it's not just the rain that can ruin your bankroll.
All right, kicking off tonight's episode of the Gambler's Ruin Project, we head up to Canada, where Toronto FC welcomes the Portland Timbers to BMO Field. It's a matchup between two teams in very different headspaces. One trying to survive, the other quietly climbing, but according to the models, the verdict is clear.
Every major predictive model we've run, from good old Poisson regression to our most sophisticated neural net ensemble, is waving the same green flag. Portland win, no dissension, no drama, just math.
And when you get a clean sweep across all models, that's a red flare to me, especially for an away win prediction. MLS isn't kind to road teams, so when SmartBet AI is this unified, I sit up, I pour a drink, I listen.
It's rare, right? Usually we've got at least one contrarian model whispering draw or clinging to home field noise. But this week?
Model predictions. Poisson. Regression. Toronto 1.08. Portland 1.47, bootstrapped. Poisson. Toronto 1.05. Portland 1.50, Random Forest. Away win Portland. XG Boost. Away win Portland. MLP Neural Network. Away win Portland. Light GBM. Away win Portland. Stacked Ensemble. Away win Portland.
That's the AI equivalent of a standing ovation. They're all betting on Portland. Even Poisson, which tends to sandbag goal expectations, gives them nearly 1.5.
Yeah, but let's be real. This isn't a fireworks show. Portland's expected goals are solid, but not explosive. This feels like a professional road job. Think 0-1, maybe 1-2 if Toronto catches a break.
And defensively, Toronto's like a leaky faucet. They've conceded in 7 straight. Even at home, they're vulnerable on set pieces and transitions.
Portland's missing Jonathan Rodriguez, but that doesn't seem to faze the models.
That's because he's been more style than substance lately. It's Felipe Mora and Santiago Moreno who pull the strings. And let's not forget, this Portland squad has a knack for ugly wins.
Ugly wins still cash.
Monte Carlo top score lines. 0-1. Portland won 3.8%, 1-2. Portland won 2.2%, 1-1. Draw 11.5%.
So simulations are mostly nodding toward low-scoring Portland wins. Even the 1-1 draw feels more like a second-best scenario.
Which is why I like the away win with a side bet on under 2.5 goals. This ain't going to be a shootout. It's going to be Portland grinding out 3 points while Toronto fans go, not again.
Add a sprinkle on 0-1 correct score for value. That's a number the model favors and it'll pay nicely.
All right, segment 1 locked in. Next up, we rewind to one of the weirdest moments in Toronto FC history. Ever wonder what happens when a team forgets to pack their own jerseys?
Spoiler alert, they borrowed the opposition's. Stay tuned, folks. The embarrassment is very real.
All right, we've covered XG, ELO, Monte Carlo simulations, and Dominic's bullish lean on Portland. But let's take a quick break from all the models and metrics and talk about a moment that defined early MLS chaos.
A story so embarrassing, it looped back around to being iconic.
Oh yeah, this is the one. This is peak MLS 1.0.
Flashback to 2007, Toronto FC's inaugural season. They were the new kids on the block trying to build a fan base, forge an identity, and, theoretically, remember to pack for away games.
Keyword, theoretically.
It's an away match against New England at Gillette Stadium. TFC shows up ready to go. But something's wrong. No white kits, no backups, no alternates. Just red. Only red.
Which would have been fine, except New England's home kits were, wait for it, also red.
So what do you do when you're a professional football club and you forgot your jerseys?
Apparently you borrow the other team's training kits.
I'm not kidding. Toronto played the entire match in blue and white Revs gear, looking more like interns than professionals. It was like a FIFA glitch come to life.
And naturally, they lost.
Because when you start a match wearing your opponent's colours, fate doesn't need to flip a coin. It's already picked a side.
And that's what I call a club origin story, not the trophies, not the comeback wins. The moment when you show up to battle and forget your sword.
Or your pants.
Now, to their credit, TFC turned into one of MLS's biggest redemption arcs, from kitless underdogs in 2007 to treble winners in 2017. That 10-year journey from chaos to glory is actually kind of beautiful.
And that's Toronto in a nutshell. Drama, dysfunction, disaster, then silverware.
Which brings us full circle, because Saturday night against Portland, that chaotic DNA still lingers, just maybe without the wardrobe malfunction.
But with betting edges just as fragile.
And if they lose again, just like 2007, they'll find themselves wearing someone else's reputation.
That's your slice of MLS nostalgia for the week. Up next, we head to Montreal, where NYCFC comes to town under a storm advisory, a loaded injury list, and models that just can't get along.
Fog, fouls, and French-Canadian fight. Stick around.
Because if segment 1 was a warning, segment 3 is a minefield.
Alright, so far we've had weather-free chaos in Toronto, a fashion disaster flashback, and now we're heading straight into the eye of the storm.
Literally, we're talking about CF Montreal versus NYCFC, where the pitch might as well be an air hockey table.
Date Saturday, June 28, 2025. Venue, Saputo Stadium. Weather, 58 degrees Fahrenheit. Cloud cover at 95%. Wind gusts up to 20 miles per hour. And yes, there's rain, not maybe rain. Confirmed precipitation.
If you can't see past midfield, don't worry, neither can the centre-backs.
It's the kind of game where you spend 90 minutes slipping, guessing, and hoping the ball doesn't stop in a puddle like a horror movie cliché.
And that's just the environmental model. Wait until you see what SmartBet AI has to say.
Injury report, Montreal, Fabian Herber's thigh, Bryce Duke, hip. Both out. NYCFC, James Sands, ankle, out until late August. Jacob Aroyev, Malachi Jones, lower leg injuries, out.
That's a whole lot of midfield gone. Sands missing? That's like removing the center pole from a circus tent. Structurally, things will collapse.
And Aroyev being out kills their rotational depth. This match is starting to smell like a fitness test with VR.
So basically, slippery turf plus shallow bench equals sign welcome to the blender.
ELO ratings, NYCFC, 1,519.00. Montreal, 1,461.35.
Slight lean NYC, not decisive. Montreal's got that scrappy home grip vibe.
Yeah, but in this weather, ELO means jack if your cleats don't grip. I've seen guys turn into figure skaters out there, especially NYC's backline. They like playing cute. Cute doesn't work when the turf's wet enough to grow mushrooms.
Poisson regression. Prediction Montreal 1.22, NYCFC 1.31.
That's as close as it gets. But again, it's classic Poisson, smooth and sensible like a library voice.
Poisson's great if everyone's healthy and it's 70 and sunny. But rain makes people stupid. That's not in the formula.
So you're fading the model again?
Not fading, reinterpreting. Poisson sees 1.22 and 1.31 like it's a low-event draw. I see sloppy mistakes that lead to sloppy goals.
Translation. The model says balanced. Dom says chaos with extra puddles.
Bootstrapped Poisson. Predictions Montreal 1.21, CI 04. NYCFC 1.29, CI 04.
So the volatility is baked in. 4 goal ceilings? This isn't your standard 1-1.
Exactly, that's where the value is. Everyone sees the means. But the range? That's where smart bets live.
It's like people checking weather for the average and ignoring the thunderstorm warning.
Model suite predictions, Random Forest, NYCFC win. XG Boost, NYCFC win. MLP Neural Net, NYCFC win. Stacked Ensemble, slight NYC lean but hesitating.
So it's a sweep. All 4 lean NYC.
Which is when I start getting skeptical. You ever see 4 tech bros agree on a stock? Exactly. Time to short it.
So what are you seeing?
NYC wants control, possession, angles. You know what fog and turf do to that? They delete it. Montreal's going to make it ugly. They'll press wild, get a couple weird bounces. And that's how they win this. Not by being better, but by being messier.
Like a dogfight in a bathtub.
Exactly.
Monte Carlo simulation, top scorelines, 10,000 runs, 1-1 draw, 1-2.4%, 2, 1 Montreal, 1-0.6%, 1-2 NYCFC, 11.9%.
Notice how none of those outcomes break past 13%. Translation, nobody knows.
Simulations say maybe. Dominic says more goals. AI says probably New York. The field says bring a poncho.
Dominic's picks, both teams to score. Yes, over 2.5 goals, correct score long shot. 2-2, primary lean. Montreal draw, no bet. Alt play, live over 1.5 if first 15 minutes are frantic.
Here's the logic. You've got two broken midfields, bad footing and desperation. That's not a bet on skill. That's a bet on chaos mechanics. Montreal thrives on chaos. NYC needs structure. So guess who I'm fading?
Let me guess. Poisson?
Poisson, ensemble, machine learning, cloud computing. If you can't stand up without slipping, all that data's just vapor.
So what's your warning label for this one?
Don't bet like it's chess. Bet like it's bumper cars. Go light. Look for value in totals. Forget the money line unless you're hedging.
There you have it. Montreal versus NYCFC. A battle of models, fog and philosophies.
One says control, the other says collision. And the field, it'll decide who stays standing long enough to finish a shot.
Just don't say I didn't warn you when someone scores off a slip and a back pass.
Stick around. We've got final takeaways and a reminder of the golden rule. The sharpest bet isn't the flashiest. It's the one sized right and placed with discipline.
Unless you're betting MLS in fog, then you're just surviving.
Thanks for tuning into this episode of the Gambler's Ruin Project. Remember, our content is for informational and entertainment purposes only, and all predictions are AI generated. Gambling can be addictive, so please bet responsibly. If you or someone you know needs help with gambling addiction, there are resources that can provide support. In North America, contact the National Problem Gambling Helpline at 1-800-522-4700, available 24/7 for confidential help. In the UK, reach out to BeGamble, aware at 08088 and 2133, or visit begambleaware.org for more information and support. Bet smart, bet safe, and as always, remember to keep things fun and balanced. We'll see you next week for more insights. Thanks again for joining us, and don't forget to hit subscribe for more AI-driven predictions and pro betting tips every week. Disclaimer: this content is for informational and entertainment purposes only. The predictions and insights provided by the Gambler's Ruin Project, powered by SmartBet AI technology, are generated using statistical models and historical data. These predictions do not guarantee outcomes and should not be considered financial or betting advice. Always gamble responsibly and only wager what you can afford to lose. If you or someone you know is struggling with gambling addiction, seek help from professional support services. Legal notice: this content does not constitute an offer to participate in gambling. The Gambler's Ruin Project does not operate as a bookmaker or betting service and does not encourage gambling. All users are responsible for complying with local laws and regulations regarding sports betting and gambling-related content in their respective jurisdictions. The Gambler's Ruin Project, where the odds get cracked.